Hello everybody, this is my Chikara King of Trios, nights 1, 2, and 3, 2009 review. Did I say 2009 already? I don't think I did. This will follow the same format as my 2008 review, where I can't talk about all the matches, but I can talk about some of my favourite bits and what I took away from each show, or each night of the show. It's the one show over 3 nights. I think you'd say, well, I'll just, for the sake of the video, I'll just say it's that. First of all, the production values were excellent. The camera work was good. The video quality was high. The entranceway looked good. The audio was good. The commentary was good. For an independent promotion, the production was just excellent for it. So, and it was shot in a widescreen format, and that came out making it look even better than what it was. Night 1, I didn't say it. Night 1, 2, and 3 were all quite different. I got a different impression from all 3 nights. They were part of the one package, but I can remember each night having its own uniqueness to it. You know, night 1 having the big stars on it and having a high amount of just the sheer level of talent was incredible for an independent promotion. Guys like Al Snow and D'Lo Brown and Glacier. I'm looking at my dot points, so that's why I'm looking to the side. Johnny Saint, Kota Ibushi, excellent. But yeah, they had just some amazing talent on night 1. Night 2 had some amazing wrestling, probably the best wrestling of all 3 nights. Night 3 was the conclusion of the booking, what had been set up in nights 1 and 2, and so that's what stood out to me. It was more about the booking than nights 1 and 2 would have been. Kind of, that's what stood out to me. It was the booking of it, as opposed to the other 2 nights where it was, as I said, the talent and then the wrestling. It was the booking that stood out to me on night 3. So yeah, night 1, probably some of my favourite matches were F.I.S.T versus the Deathmatch Kings, which was amazing. It got a great reaction for a brawl, because when CZW does a brawl with the same thing, most of the fans sit there silently, but because it was done in Chikara and it's never done in Chikara, the crowd went nuts for it. And with F.I.S.T being some over heels, the people wanted to see these guys get their head punched in. The best match was The Future Is Now, which is Equinox, Helios, and Lince Dorado versus Team DDT, which is Kudo, Michael Nakazawa, and Kota Ibushi. Sorry about that. In an amazing match. Incoherence versus the Masters of 1,000 Holds. Mike Quackenbush, Johnny Saint, and Jorge Rivera was also excellent. And the Unstable versus the Cold Front was really good, but I kind of didn't buy into the Unstable being able to beat the Cold Front, because all the guys in the Cold Front were enormous compared to all the guys in the Unstable. But yeah, I still really enjoyed it. Night 2, as I said, had some amazing wrestling. Of course, probably had the worst match of the 3 nights, but saying it was the worst match isn't necessarily saying it's bad. It's just saying it wasn't the best, or wasn't up to everything else I was doing, which is, you couldn't really expect from the teams that were in here, which was the Submission Squad and Davey Vega and Gary the Barn Owl. Even though it wasn't the best match, it was still a good match for guys who had never been in the building or had no exposure to those fans. So yeah, El Generico versus Nick Jackson versus Jigsaw versus Kota Ibushi had me marking out like crazy. It was just an amazing match, especially with El Generico and Kota Ibushi. I could just watch those 2 wrestle forever. It's just so amazing. But Nick Jackson and Jigsaw were also amazing in the match. So there is that. That was the match of the night. But another amazing match was Team Uppercut versus the Masters of 1,000 Holds, which was great technical wrestling. And because it was so much, all this technical wrestling, and Bryan Danielson all of a sudden coming out and brawling with some, or physically hitting some of the guys as opposed to wrestling, it got a really good reaction from the crowd of boos, but I think it was boos anyway. But yeah, it got a really good reaction because everyone thought it was just going to be a match of pure wrestling. The Osirian Portal versus The Future Is Now was another excellent match on it. I should also add that Helios, Equinox, and Lince Dorado, who are The Future Is Now, were getting a lot of heat even though they're all the faces. I'm pretty sure I know of the group of people who were booing them, and why they were doing it. But and I guess it goes to show that Helios, Equinox, and Lince Dorado really aren't the kind of faces that the fans are interested in, especially when you put them as a team. A lot of it has to do with Lince Dorado. He does kind of have a group of fans who dislike his work. So, yeah, I might talk about that a bit later. Night 3. Best match of the night was probably Player Dose versus Kota Ibushi. Player Dose, or Stupefied, is an incredible worker. And maybe one of the best guys on the indie scene around that area, Canada and northeast, US states. But Kota Ibushi is just so phenomenal that he made Player Dose look like looking incredibly green and amateurish. I mean, and that's, as I said, that really is saying something, because Player Dose is an incredible worker from what I've seen, which is quite a bit of his work. But yeah, that would be the match of night 3. F.I.S.T versus Team Uppercut on night 3 was quite disappointing, because that was the main event. Spoilers. It only went for about 10 minutes. I mean, it was a good match with a lot of heat, but it just went too short. When I see a finals of a tournament, I expect it to go at least 20 minutes. It has to be epic and over the top. But it was just like 10 minutes, and F.I.S.T won it like they would have won any of the other matches in the earlier stages of the tournament. So it kind of didn't have the same effect on me that I thought other tournaments have had. One of them being King of Trios 2008, which I thought had a good finish, which coincidentally had Lince Dorado getting the pin after getting all the heat in the matches before the finals, and then the finals actually picking up the win. There was, came full circle, whereas this didn't kind of have that same feeling or emotion, or maybe I just didn't pick up on it. But yeah, and the Future Is Now, when the Future Is Now was beaten by F.I.S.T to get into the finals, fans were chanting "Thank you, F.I.S.T, for the heels." Which really says something about the Future Is Now as a group of faces. I mean, Equinox is actually Jimmy Olsen. And the thing is, I liked him more as Jimmy Olsen than I did as Equinox. I thought it was cool when he faced Vin Gerard as Equinox, because it kind of was Vin Gerard versus his past alter ego. So it was kind of cool. But, with Jimmy Olsen continuing to use that gimmick, I don't think he needs it, because he stands out enough without it. Helios is Ricochet, and I love him. He's just a great worker. But I guess he could probably be seen as a bit bland. Lince Dorado, a lot of fans dislike him, and sometimes it does feel like he tries too hard. Like in the tournament, he went for a tope, went over the person he was trying to hit with it, and went straight to the crowd. Global Gauntlet night 2. He took several bumps, which should have ended the match, where he jumped over and landed on jumped clean over the top rope and landed on concrete. Took a sickening Death Valley driver right in the corner. It sometimes feels like he just tries too hard. I mean, he's a good worker, he's polished, but there's just something that stops me from liking him as much as I could. I could make a video talking about some of the things I don't like about him and would like to see from him. But I won't do that, as, there's no point in me doing it. Maybe if people ask to see why I think he's getting the kind of reaction he does, I will talk about it. But yeah, it's still, all 3 nights are really good nights of wrestling. It's a really good tournament/show. I recommend you pick it up. 8.5 out of 10. I just had to end with some negative stuff because I was talking about so much positive stuff about it. So yeah, 8.5 out of 10. Check it out, ladies and gentlemen.